Have you ever wondered how the famous Greek gods, like Zeus, Poseidon, and Hera, came to rule the world? Their story isn't one of peaceful succession. It's a tale of rebellion, a cosmic war that shook the very foundations of the universe. This is the story of the Titan Machi, the epic clash between the old gods and the new. Before the Olympians, the universe was ruled by the Titans, powerful deities led by Cronus. Cronus was powerful, but he lived in constant fear. A prophecy foretold that he would be overthrown by one of his own children, just as he had overthrown his father, Uranus. So, to prevent this, Cronus did something truly horrifying. Every time his wife, Rhea, gave birth, he would swallow the child whole. Ischia, Demeter, Hades, and Poseidon were imprisoned within their father's stomach. Rhea, heartbroken and desperate, couldn't bear to lose another child. When she was about to give birth to her sixth Zeus, she devised a clever plan. She traveled to the island of Crete and gave birth to Zeus in secret, hiding him in a deep cave. To trick Cronus, she wrapped a large stone in swaddling clothes and presented it to him. Without a second thought, Cronus swallowed the stone, believing he had once again thwarted fate. Meanwhile, young Zeus was raised in secret on Crete. He was cared for by nymphs and protected by the Cretes, who would clash their spears and shields to drown out his cries, so Cronus wouldn't hear him. Fed on the milk of the goat Amalthea and honey, Zeus grew strong and powerful, all the while nursing a desire for justice and revenge against the father he had never known. When Zeus came of age, it was time to put his plan into action. With the help of the Titaness Metis, he disguised himself and served Cronus a special drinker, mixture of wine and mustard. The concoction was so potent that it forced Cronus to regurgitate everything he had swallowed. First came the stone, and then, one by one, out came Zeus's siblings, now fully grown and powerful in their own right. Poseidon, Hades, Hera, Demeter, and Hestia. Reunited and furious, they immediately declared war on Cronus and the Titans. The universe was split into two warring factions. The new gods, the Olympians, led by Zeus, established their base on Mount Olympus. The old gods, the Titans, led by Cronus and his formidable general Atlas, fought from their stronghold on Mount Othries, and so began the Titanomachy, a brutal war that would rage for 10 long years. The war was a devastating stalemate. The power of the Olympians was matched by the raw, primal strength of the Titans. The earth trembled, the seas boiled, and the heavens roared with the sounds of their conflict. Zeus unleashed his mighty thunderbolts, Poseidon shook the earth with his trident, and Hades wielded the terror of the underworld. Yet the Titans, ancient and unyielding, refused to fall. Zeus knew he needed more allies to break the deadlock. He journeyed deep into Tartarus, the abyss of the underworld, where his grandfather Uranus had imprisoned his other children, the Cyclopes and the Hecatoncheires, the 100-handed giants. Zeus freed these powerful beings, and in their gratitude they pledged their allegiance to him. The Cyclopes, master craftsmen, forged incredible weapons for the gods, the thunderbolt for Zeus, the trident for Poseidon, and the helm of darkness for Hades, which could make its wearer invisible. With their new allies and devastating new weapons, the tide of the war began to turn. The Hecatoncheires, with their 100 arms, were a terrifying sight on the battlefield. They hurled massive boulders at the Titans, overwhelming them with a relentless barrage of stone. The Cyclopes' weapons gave the Olympians a decisive edge. Zeus's thunderbolts rained down from the sky. Poseidon's trident created earthquakes and tsunamis. and Hades used his helm to move unseen, sowing chaos among the Titan ranks. Finally, after a decade of relentless fighting, the Olympians launched their final all-out assault on Mount Othrys. The combined power of the gods, the Cyclopes, and the Hundred-Handers was too much for the Titans to withstand. One by one, they were defeated. Cronus was overthrown, and the reign of the Titans came to a violent end. In the aftermath of their victory, the world was theirs to divide. Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades drew lots to determine their domains. Zeus became the supreme ruler, the king of the gods and the sky. Poseidon claimed the seas and all the waters of the world, and Hades became the lord of the underworld, the realm of the dead. The other Olympians also took their places in the new cosmic order. As for the defeated Titans, most were cast into Tartarus, bound in chains and guarded for eternity by the Hecatanchires. A few, like the general Atlas, received special punishments. For leading the Titans in battle, Atlas was condemned to hold up the sky on his shoulders for all time. And that is how the Olympians rose to power, a story born from a mother's love, a son's rebellion, and a war that reshaped the cosmos. Their reign would usher in a new age, an age of myth and legend that continues to fascinate us to this day. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey into Greek mythology. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tales from the ancient world. Let me know in the comments which myth you'd like to hear about next. See you soon.